Good afternoon. Welcome today to our webinar where we are going to talk about 20 reasons to consider George Brown College's Automation Technician Program. Geet, in the background, if you can just send me a quick text in the chat to let me know that the sound is good and everything seems to be working fine. We'll proceed on that basis. Welcome. We are thrilled to have you with us today. Our attendees are gathering, people still checking in, so they'll be joining us as we go. Today we are going to cover what we think are the most important reasons that people consider our programs and give you the benefit of that experience. And along the way, we're going to address the most common questions that get asked about that stuff to try and fill in all the details that we can along the way. So let's get started. My name is Scott Duncan. I'm the Business Development Manager at GBC Tech Training, and I'm here today with Geet Amin. Geet, say hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Maybe introduce yourself around what you do at in the program and share a little bit about yourself and the job.
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Geet. I work as a senior support consultant at the college, and I provide technical as well as tutorial assistance to the students enrolled in automation technician program. We have a bunch of support staff who help our students throughout their course curriculum.
Thanks, Geet. Geet's one of the main guys in our support group, and he's one of the people you're likely to talk to as you if you become a student and need help with either administrative or technical or tutorial questions. We've also got a couple of other people in the background. We've got Iris, who's monitoring the chat. Iris is going to answer questions as they come up and cover as much of that as she can and provide you feedback immediately to your questions over chat. And some we may save to the end, but we'll try and cover everything over either through the session or at the end. And also in the background, we've got Krista kind of monitoring some of the technical side and recording our video and all that good stuff. So we are all here gathered to present to you this information. Here's our agenda. We're going to provide basically a 20-minute short presentation. We will provide an overview of our programs and some common information, address some common questions. We're then going to dig into a 10-minute Q&A, but we'll keep that open as well longer if we have more questions and you are interested in continuing to ask questions. After the webinar, we will be sending out an email to you that will include the show notes and links to slides and all that good stuff. So you don't really have to take notes if you don't want to, and we'll get that to you at within a day or two. So let's plunge in here. What's the first most important significant reason that people consider our program? Well, the thing that makes us most unique is our distance education model, our self-paced learning model, where you can study the program at your own pace. There is no predetermined schedule for you. You work through contents which are computer moderated, computer based. It's all self-paced learning. You work your way through that material. If you're on a day shift in a manufacturing facility, you can study it in the evenings. If you're on the midnight shift, you can do it between midnight and 3. Exams are available at all times. We have no deadlines for completion, and it's really made for you. The average is about 32 weeks. Some people cover it in that. Some people do it quicker. They've got more time to spend on it, and some people go longer. We don't require that you finish in a certain amount of time, and it's really up to you to fit it into your lifestyle. The second most important reason that we think people are checking out our programs is that students are looking for a well-established and legitimate program that's reputable and going to give them some real value. And we do that. George Brown College is a fully funded public college overseen by the Ontario Ministry of Colleges and Universities in Ontario here. We have about 35,000 full and part-time students and over 70,000 continuing education students. We just happen to be the largest provider of continuing education in Canada. Through our program, we articulate with a couple of universities. We also have a lot of U.S. partner colleges that you might have encountered, through which we also deliver the program in the States. We're a very long established program from a very reputable institution, so you can be confident of that. What are the entry requirements of the program, and why is that important to people? Well, a lot of our students are coming to the program after working for a number of years, may have finished college, may not have gone to college. So the question of what are the prerequisites is really important. Our requirements are that you have a high school diploma or equivalent, which means if you don't have a diploma, you need to be mature student status, which we define as having work experience roughly equivalent to having completed a high school diploma. Previous experience in business is not required, in industry is not required. It helps, but it's not required. Our typical student is someone who's working in manufacturing or in technology and is looking to upgrade their skills and expand their background so that they can pursue a job or a promotion or a new technology. One of the big reasons for people considering our program is our flexibility. We're extremely flexible, maybe more flexible than any other program you're going to encounter. It's going back to school can be intimidating and sometimes complicated. We're not. We're simple and straightforward, and we make it easy to register. You can start anytime. You can use our pay-as-you-learn registration to decide if it's for you, and you can work your way through the program. We work with a lot of companies who offer tuition reimbursement for their employees. So if that would be your scenario, we're very experienced working with people on that basis. The next really simple reason that people are interested in our program and like what we offer is that the registration process is very, very simple. We go to our website, go to the registration page. You can register online by phone, call us. We're always here, 7 days a week. You can reach somebody, or you can go old school and fax or email, or sorry, fax or mail. We still do that as well. Number 6, one of the really important reasons people should look at our program is because of our very low cost of entry into this kind of a training program. Our independent learning package in the first module will start you out at $560, so it's very inexpensive. You can step into the program that way and experience it, or you can register for the whole program at $1,790. Just very, very flexible. You can start low, or you can come in and register for everything and work your way through it without the inconvenience of registering for modules. But if you're not sure, you pick the model that works for you and experiment with it, and we're here to support you. The other really important dimension of our program and how we stand out in the options that you might be considering is that we are very, very competitive on a price point. Our program is around that $1,700. Takes you 32 weeks on average, roughly 6 to 8 weeks or less or more. Compared to $7,000 in a typical college program in Canada, up to $50,000 for a typical university bachelor's program. We are not equivalent to those two things, but you may be looking at those as options, and if you are, this is a helpful way to compare what we'll see on the price, on the cost side. Another very important point that makes our program easy to use and very, very, very helpful is that it's all in one. We've packaged it so that once you register, it's super simple to download all the material immediately. You can get it the same day as your payment is processed. The curriculum is provided by download. You get links to online resources and supplemental resources. The only thing outside of that yeah, are some textbooks that we also produce that are linked very closely to the program, excuse me, which are supplemental. They're not required, but they do back up the program very, very, very closely, and some people like to have that. Online exams are another really simple and effective strategy to deliver the program, and that our students really, really like. Excuse me. You can take those exams at any time. There are practice exams to prepare you for them. There's an exam FAQ if you need some help to get familiarized with it. It's a timed 90-minute exam per each module. You have to get a 60% to pass the module, and you have to get passes and complete all 18 modules to graduate. Let's move on to some of the more technical pieces, and I'm going to hand over to Geet at this point. Geet, sorry, I'm a minute into your time, but I'll give it to you to move through these sections. Go ahead.
Yes, Scott. There was a lot of good information about the automation program. Hello again, everyone. For anyone who joined in late to our webinar, my name is Geet, and I work as a senior technical consultant at the college. I will take you all through some of the technical side of the program, starting with the hardware requirements. One of the reasons our automation program is very popular is that you don't need a high-end, super fancy computer to run the software. Well, there is one basic requirement you will need to be able to run the software on your computer, is that you will need a computer running Windows operating system. Our programs are strictly Windows-based, so they will not work on Mac, Linux, or any other operating system. A simple computer with a 1 GB of RAM and 250 MB of free hard drive space is more than enough to run the software. The automation technician program is now offered as a web-based format, which requires you to have internet connection to access the course curriculum, and you will also need internet to do your online exams. Online exams can be done at any time of the day or night, doesn't matter. When you submit your exam, it will be marked by the server, and you will receive a report card within half an hour of sending your exam. Now, once you finish all your 18 exams, you'll get the certificate for automation technician program from the college. Let's move on to the next reason that people consider our automation program. We understand that student support is very important for a technical program like automation. If you're ever stuck on a math question or a lab project, or let's say if you're working on a robotics or PLC programming example, and if you don't understand the logic behind it, or if you need help creating a program on your own, or if you're having trouble loading software on your computer, anything like this, we are here to help. For any such questions, you can reach us at the support center by phone, email, or use one of our online forms. Our student support center is open extended hours, as you can see it on the screen, from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. in the evening, and on weekends, 9 to 5. A lot of our students, they work full-time during the day, so extended support center hours are a huge benefit to them. There are many ways you can get support. We have a dedicated toll-free support phone line you can use to contact us, or you can email us, or use one of our online forums. Moving on to the next, we'll look at the content covered in the automation technician program. So there are 18 modules covered in the automation technician. You will learn about topics from electromechanical, PLC, and robotics as well. There are more than 100 PreMed Lab projects on the program, which will help you learn the circuit designing, PLC programming, robotics programming using the industry standard simulation software that comes along with the program. We'll talk more about the simulation software in the coming slides, but each module that we are looking at over here, it covers the in-depth theory and practical examples. There are review questions, practice exams, supplemental information available to you, which will help you prepare for your online exam. And it will, and anytime you need help, we have a bunch of support advisors to walk you through any content-related questions. Moving on to the next reason, let's take a look at the the simulation software that we offer with the course. This is in fact one of the biggest reason people consider our automation program. It comes with a Logic Sim simulation suite, and it consists of 4 different simulation tools. As we can see on the screen, 3D Lab, Circuit Logics, PLC Logics, and Robologics. When you click on a lab project in the program, depending on what module you are working on, let's say if you're working on a digital electronics module, all the labs will open up using Circuit Logics. If you're working on a PLC related module, the labs will open up using PLC Logic Simulation software. And similarly, for any robotics module, it will open up using Robologic Simulation tool. We'll look at each of these simulation tools in detail in the next slide. But what I mean to say here is this simulation software are industry standard. So you'll learn the real world experience. So you'll get real world practical training using the simulation tools. Now, the one we're looking at right now, we have a video demonstration for PLC Logic Simulation software. As we can see, there is a ladder program in the background controlling the 3D world environment in the front. So there are 10 different 3D worlds. We call it 3D world, but they are really a real world applications in PLC Logic Simulation. This is a bottle line where different bottles are filled with a different color, different liquid, and there's a car conveyor wash over here. So you'll learn to control all this 3D world manufacturing environments using the ladder logic program in the background. There are hundreds of PreMed Lab projects which will teach you how to control this 3D world applications. But at the same time, you can always create your own ladder program to modify and control this 3D world environment. Now we are looking at the Robologic simulation tool. So Robologics is a simulation tool used for robotics related modules, and there are 4 kinds of robots covered in the Robologic simulation suite: arc welding robot, spray painting robot, pick and place robot, and spot welding robot. We have a quick video demonstrating Robologics as well, all 4 kind of robots. So if we look at this video, here we can see that the first one we're looking at is the pick and place robot. It's demonstrating, it's picking up the boxes from conveyor 1 belt and dropping it to the conveyor 2. So and there are 12 different camera views to view the robot from different angles. Next is the spray painting robot. Here you can pick the color of the paint, the thickness, and the area you want to paint here. So everything is controlled using the program. You can see on the control panel over here, you can see the live real-time position of the program. This is a spot welding robot. Next is the arc welding robot. So you learn how to control this robots, and there are so many PreMed Lab projects which will teach you how to program these robots and perform certain tasks. You'll be given an example, like as we can see over here. It's asking you to do, paint a front door and jog your robot to this positions. So you'll learn a lot in terms of robotics programming. Next, we will take a look at the 3D Lab, and I'm sorry, it's actually on the next slide. Yeah, thank you, Scott. So here we'll look at the 3D Lab and Circuit Logic Simulation tools. So 3D Lab is a very simple but very powerful simulation software. It closely replicates the fully functioning electronics laboratory in a realistic 3D world environment. You can pick all the electronic equipment from the shelf, drop it on the floor, and then connect them with wires to create a lab. Here we're looking at is the Circulogics simulation software. This is a powerful schematic design. It will give you the flexibility to design and test electronic circuits, something similar to what you do in the real lab, where you connect all the electronic equipments on a breadboard. Instead of that, you can do it on Circuit Logics, and you don't have to worry about breaking anything. Sometimes we always have that what if scenarios where you're worried about what if I connect this to this, is it going to blow up my equipment? You don't have to worry about all that. You can try everything on the simulation software, and it will It will help you learn the schematic designing from scratch. And I think that's about it from my side. I will now pass it back to Scott. Over to you, Scott.
Thank you very much, Keith. So as you can see, a great technical capability within the simulation tools that works that is integrated with the curriculum of the program. So you get your labs by the simulation tools and you work your way through the content of the program. Reason number 18 that people are obviously very interested in technical training is how can it improve your career prospects. So with the automation technician program, you get a certificate of completion, you get 62 CEUs, you get practical simulator experience, programming experience in PLCs, but maybe most importantly, you get new knowledge and confidence that you can take back into the workforce and leverage to your advantage. And how does that work to your advantage? Well, as you prepare yourself for a career and future prospects in the manufacturing world, obviously there's opportunities there, and this is some details around the kinds of jobs that are available to PLC technicians and automation technicians. Obviously, you have to start at the beginning. Our program will put you on the path towards these kinds of positions and position you well for the future. Maybe the most important reason that you could consider our program is that other students have been very successful with it in completing the programs and actually leveraging them to their advantage in their lives. We encourage you to go to our website and check out our testimonials page, and you'll find out stories like this. Anton and Sedek, who are graduates of the automation program, and the impact that it has had in their lives, and first of all, working it into their busy lives, and then getting some very clear advantages and results in terms of career and income as they move forward in their career. So we're going to wrap our part of the presentation at this point, and we're going to move on to questions and answers. We're just a touch over. Sorry about that, our 20 minutes. But what we want to do now is to open it up for questions. As I scan the chat, I see that Iris has been busy answering lots of specific questions. Iris, are there some particular questions that you want to hand off to us to take at this point?
Yes, Scott, I did post some for you to answer, but perhaps you can, Ronak asked a question about the emulator and RS Logic's 5000. So perhaps you could just cover the four different simulators in the program.
Geet, I'll give you that one to do real quick.
Yes, sure, I can answer that. So, Ronak, I did see a question there. Yes, our automation technician program covers PLC 2 modules in it, and PLC 2 is based on Allen Bradley 5000 series, which covers the tag-based programming. If you're familiar with the tag-based and file-based input-output PLC ladder logic programming. So when you go through the modules, you'll learn about how you can do the ladder logic programming using the PLC Logic 5000. And PLC Logic 5000 is based on the Allen Bradley Studio 5000 emulator. So after you graduate from this program, and if you have to work on a Rockwell's emulator, it would not be a huge transition for you. It'll be an easy transition coming out of PLC Logics and working on the Rockwell's emulator.
One of the common questions we get has to do with the ability to use the software in the future once you finish the program, and I wanted to just try and address that one as it was addressed sort of peripherally in a question. The software, the simulation software that accompanies the program is yours forever, and you have a lifetime license to use that software and to practice the simulation and to use it to design circuits or design PLC programs, or to design robotics command structures that you might then want to use in your real world. So yes, the software is available forever to you to use once you've registered in the program.
There's a question from Mike asking about if he will be able to run PLC Logic 5000 on a Mac. Our program is strictly Windows based, but yes, you will be able to use it on Mac if you run Windows Parallel. In fact, what we recommend, like what we have heard as a feedback from our students over the years, is instead of using it on a Windows Parallel, if you use a boot camp to install Windows on your Mac, so using boot camp, what it does is it partitions your hard drive into two. So on one partition you'll have your Mac OS running, and on the second partition you can install Windows operating system. So this way, when you boot into Windows, you're completely using Windows and nothing from the Mac side is interfering. And this way you will be able to run our program on Mac. Again, as I mentioned, our programs are strictly Windows based, so it won't run on the Mac side, but you will be able to run it on Windows as long as you have Windows installed on your Mac.
Let me take Travis's question. Is there industry recognition for the training? Yes, we've got broad recognition across a wide spectrum of players in the technical training world. There are many companies who we work with, who we've had long-standing relationships with, who fund their students in the training through tuition reimbursement. We have a number of association relationships that also tie into that. There are many different industry kind of certifications and regulations, and the complexity of that world is pretty significant. We can maybe give you more information on that if you want to give us a call and talk to you about how we fit into some of that. But we have many colleges in the U.S. that we are partnered with. We have universities who give us full credit for these programs in their bachelor's programs, and we have major companies who endorse us and use our programs for internal training purposes. Edwin, I'll address that program. Is the program fully an online course? Yes, we're fully online. The program is the curriculum program is downloaded to your desktop. You install that online so that the simulators, for example, and all of the really dense media curriculum is on your computer. But then all the other aspects of interacting with us, be it the Student Support Center, be it exams, be it online forums, all that kind of stuff is fully online and accessible to you through a computer. Anything else, Pete, you wanted to cover? I didn't look at all the earlier questions.
Well, one of the very common questions that I usually get when I talk to our students over the phone is they're always worried about if they will have a lifetime license to the simulation software, because as we know, our students, even after they graduate, because of the sophistication of our simulation program, they continue using our simulation tools even after they graduate. So let's say if they are working on a project at their work, if they want to try it on our simulation software before they apply it in a real world, they can continue doing it. So you will get a lifetime license to the software once you have it installed on your computer, on the simulation software, as well as the course curriculum part of the software. It would never expire. It would always stay installed on your computer even after you graduate.
Another common question, I'll just throw this one out since we're running low on questions. Is there a background requirement in electromechanical or PLCs or robotics to enter into the automation program? And the answer is no. As you may be aware, we offer other programs, electronics, electromechanical, PLCs, and robotics, separate, discrete programs. And the automation covers parts of those programs. But no, you don't need that background, because the introduction to those technologies is given in this summary level program, introducing you to all of those essential technologies and how to apply them and how to program and how to work with them in the real world. So no, you don't have to have any background in that area. You can start from scratch. Our typical student, to be honest, is somebody who's working in manufacturing, who has some experience in applying these technologies, but may not have the actual academic background. So what often happens is someone has a working experience in working on an assembly line, or maybe supporting adding supplies and maintaining a robot on a line, but they don't actually know the technical or the academic background to actually understand how it's working. And a lot of our students come into the program with that intention of bolstering their knowledge and getting better at understanding the fundamentals, so that they can advance with the technology within their company and within the career structure that's available to them to do that. Okay, we are out of questions from our audience. Geet, do you have one more that you would want to throw in, or maybe Geet, you could take Travis's last question about manufacturing.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can I interrupt that? There is one question from Travis that just came in, if you don't mind answering that, and it's, would you say manufacturing is your primary focus?
Yeah.
Sure, I can maybe answer that. Yes, it is. This automation technician program is, in fact, you can say it's an industrial automation program. So it is about all the manufacturing environment. So PLCs used in the manufacturing environment, robots used in the manufacturing environment. Now, if you think about robotics and PLCs, they both go hand in hand. You know, you'll have if you look at the borderline plant, or if you look at a plant where they have different conveyor belts where robots are picking up boxes from one belt to another. So you'll have to program a robot to do certain stuff, but there is also a PLC logic running in the background, which will be controlling the entire manufacturing environment.
Great. One more question from Bargov. For a mechanical background, automation technician or electromechanical program, which one is better? Yes, often the question that we get is people trying to decide which of our programs to pursue. And it's a hard question to answer because we don't really know your background. I think the best way to answer that question is for you to determine where you're going, not necessarily where you've come from. And maybe talk to one of our advisors. Give us a call on the 800 number and talk to one of our program advisors, and they can help fill in a lot of the blanks around, maybe with a little bit of information from you about what your background is and where you're trying to go, is we can better give you that advice. So we're available by phone or email. Please contact us, and we can help you with a more detailed answer to that question. So we're now over our time. I'm not seeing. Oh, there is another question. Just keep popping up here right as I'm about to close, which is fine. If someone has no mechanical work experience, would you still recommend doing the courses? Is there a lot of coverage of the basics? Geet, why don't you take that one?
Yes, absolutely. So yes, we do cover everything from a very basic level. We do not expect anything from our students. There are no mechanical or electrician or PLC prerequisite for the programs. Now, as Scott mentioned, we offer individual PLC, robotics, electromechanical, and electronics program on their own. Now, a lot of these programs have modules similar between them. So if you graduate from one of them, and if you decide, let's say if you take, if you register into automation program right now, you'll be learning about electromechanical, robotics, and PLCs. And then if you decide to specialize into one of them, let's say if you decide to specialize into PLC, whatever modules that you covered on the automation, there are similar to PLC, you will get credits for them. So you will not have to pay for those modules when you register into the PLC program. So this way, you will be saving some money as well as time on PLC, and you can graduate faster, and you'll have 2 certificates on your side. Now another question that just popped in about SCADA. We do cover SCADA, DCS on our PLC and also on the automation. So you will be learning a lot of detailed PLC ladder logic programming on both automation as well as on the PLC programs, and which will give you a very good hands-on experience using the simulation tools.
Okay, we're at 35 minutes, so to respect everybody's valuable time, I think we're going to wrap it at this point. If you do have other questions, we'd be very happy to talk to you. Give us a call. You can talk to Geet, you can talk to one of our advisors, and address any of the questions that we might have planted in your mind. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it, and we will wrap it on that. Let us know if you have any other questions. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.